Hello everybody, and welcome to the start of my X4 coverage. And today we are starting with the tutorial about movement. This is my own game that I've been playing mostly on. I don't have that many hours because I was just patiently waiting to see all the developments and stuff and what happens. And looking at it, I decided that now would be a good time to start to buy it because actually a lot of things have happened across the 2 weeks about of Ecosoft sale, that basically not sale, release of the game, which basically, as in typical Ecosoft fashion, they have made a lot of improvements to the game, and I felt now is a good time to get on board, and it's actually a game that I really like. So let's set up with the basics. How do you move once you're in your ship? Well, WASD and keyboard and mouse is... Well, let me start over. Keyboard and mouse is how I'm gonna start moving this. This is a game where really you're not going to be so much of a dogfighter. If you are dedicated to dogfighter, pirate, pillager, what have you, by all means, go for joystick. And I will probably, at some time in the future, attach my own joystick to this, but for now I'm playing it just as X3, which means keyboard and mouse. So, for those controllers, how you move is like this. W just raises you from the plane. It just kicks you up. S takes you back down. A just strafes you alongside the left axis, and D strafes you along the other axis. Q and E pull you right around your plane, so that's your basic things of what you can do. So there is also the arrow keys. Left and right arrow key will turn you on your, instead of strafe you like A and W, and the up and down key will pitch you instead of going you up and down like the W and S key. So that's basically the keyboard side of the things on how you are controlling, and you could very well do that. However, there's actually a better mechanism that I found, one that can be as easy as the mouse simply moving around. And you see I move around the mouse right now and nothing happens except of that little dot that follows me around. That dot is not related to movement. This is your gun. This is showing you where your gun is aiming. If I use my gun route, it's gonna go there, to where I shot. Now my gun has moved along, and that's, I don't know why, but whatever. It was following me a minute ago. I don't have all the answers. Anyway, see how I'm moving right now? I'm keeping the mouse clicked, the left mouse clicked, and that's now following me around. It's now going where I want, and I can combine it obviously with other things to do a little bit more complicated movements. Maybe strafe and turn at the same time, and that's radio chatter, but that's fine. So that's the basic controls of how you're going to be moving. So how about moving forward then? All the keys we've discussed, and if there is no forward, well, there kind of is. If you move your mouse wheel forward, it accelerates. See how that goes up? Move it all the way up and we'll catch up. This is your throttle, this is not your speed, because if you see, this lags behind. If I take it all the way down quickly, my speed doesn't follow the triangle. That triangle is my throttle. The line below it is where I am going to. So my throttle is all the way top, but my speed needs to catch up. That's one way. Another is by Z, which means take it down, and by X, take it the throttle up. It's again controlling the throttle, not the speed. This is important because of inertia, understandably. There is a little bit of a red here. You see this? So now I'm 0, but I can even go further. This is your dead stop. This is go reverse now. And I am going reverse. Increase it again. It stops at 0. You cannot progress it actually much further. Let me do it again. Z all the way back, and if I press X, it doesn't move further unless I keep pressing it. Move it down, it doesn't move for a lot unless I keep pressing it. So this has a little bit of a weight which you can actually fiddle with it. So let's fiddle with it until we get to 0. Z, there, stop. Close enough. You don't like that? Well, many people don't like that either, especially for some things. For example, if I want to stop completely, immediately, backspace. Immediately stop. This is an all-out stop right now. Whatever you do, your thrusters engage, everything does, and so you stop. Actually, your thrusters are visible from the ship. If we actually see them firing, there. You saw that little thing in the front? Go fast enough. Now we are moving. Press space, backspace, and there's your thruster breaking you down. Those things move out well, which is nice. By the way, that's external view with F2, external view free moving with another F2, and then F1 back into the cockpit. That's the basics of how you move. Now, how do you move across the map though? Because that map is pretty redonkulous in size. This is nothing like X3 anymore. I think this is comparable to X Rebirth, but I didn't play the game. Why would I? And so, no, I have no idea. I think it is comparable to X Rebirth. But if you know and love X3 like I do, then the size of each sector will really surprise you. These things are massive. These offer so much terrain to actually look at, and which is insane. So how do we move them quickly? Move through them by these lanes. Now, let me discuss the lanes. The lanes in X Rebirth were stupid. They relied on mini games, and you could go fast and catch up to others that were faster than you, and then tailgate them to increase the slipstream and stuff, and stupid idiots that I don't know what the hell were thinking. But no, this is a simple thing. Just go there and you're carried along. I'm not doing anything. In fact, if I move at all, I will disrupt it, which is useful. But now as I move, I come up to this. This is a jump gate. The same jump gates we know and love. If I stay on it, it will take me to the next system, which is from here that I was all the way here instantaneously. And all I need to do is get to another lane to move in. Come on. Well, there's combat, so they are complaining. Let's just move a little bit faster this time, and we are going to discuss that as well in another time. Okay, they're not letting me. There. I mean, it has a short time period to wait. Actually, this sector was invaded, so that's why that happened. But anyway, we are moving along on those lanes, and we are going basically at 10 kilometers per second. You are gonna go to various degrees of those speeds, depending on where you're coming up against. When you approach a gate, you will drop down to 2 kilometers, 2 to 3 kilometers per second. But this is a rather long one, so that's why this is actually going so long. Coming up across that, there it is, and continuing, because this actually one of the long rings around the systems that you take to familiarize yourself with what's going on in the map once you found it. This is a good way to look at stuff. Just pop out with the W. I found that works very well, because you are immediately taking off to the other off the beaten path and not crashing into anything, and then just go to the other one. These are unidirectional, as you can imagine. One of them takes you that way, the other one takes you the other way. These are corridors. These are lanes, if you like. So pop into one, pop out, navigate to the left, plop inside the track, and you're moving around. Simple enough. So the speeds in this game are not gonna be close to this at all. This is actually one of the fastest way to travel, if you exclude the instantaneous travel between gates. But actual traveling, eating space, this is one of the fastest ways to travel until you catch up to the gate. which slows you down and then speeds you up again. There are other gates and systems to of travel to have, like this one. You see that thing over there? That's an accelerator. This is one of the other things that you can use to travel. The other one being another gate. Just like this one, no different, but this gate actually doesn't have a corridor going through it. You just have to go to it, catch up to it, and move across it, just like in X3 as you used to. Fly to it, and you will actually navigate to that system over here. That's the route, if you will, connecting the two gates together. Same thing for the accelerator. This accelerator connects these two systems. So you enter that and you go here. So let's go to it. How far is it? 52 kilometers. Well, my top speed is 243 meters per second. That's going to take me a lot of time, isn't it? There is a trick to that. Shift 1 is one of the modes of the ship, and I will not discuss any other modes of the ship because that's for another tutorial. But Shift 1 is your travel mode. That takes a little bit of charging and then it starts accelerating. And it will take you to the top speed of your current engine. Various engines have various speeds. They have a normal speed, which is my top speed of 243 for normal operations, or this Shift 1 travel mode. Every engine has also a travel speed, and that travel speed's maximum is set for my current engines at 4000. So it's not exactly 9,000 that I have on the corridors, but it's sufficiently. We ate those 50 kilometers like it was nothing. Also, another tip on how you can accelerate maximum right now and immediately. We said backspace is for all stop immediately. Shift tab and you're setting maximum speed, maximum throttle. That is a bit of a cheat though, because this is not exactly, tab is not for setting a max throttle. Tab is for supercharging your engines in a boost mode. Boost mode is the third type of speed your engines offer. And if you keep the tab pressed for longer than just the tab, then it will not just set your throttle to max, but it will also boost you to the max of the boost speed, which is rather fast, but it eats your shields like it's nothing. These are my shields. Take a look at what happens when I press tab, which is something I already did in this video to escape those enemies that were shooting at me in the lane. Take a look. And that's it. No more shields, nothing else to do. Out of boost speed, so that's it. But you, for short periods of time, they can be actually rather nice. Shields charge up very fast as well, so I can have another boost available. But here is where your backspace comes in handy. Watch what happens when I engage travel mode, Shift 1, and then let it go for a bit. And then for whatever reason I want to stop moving like that, right? So let's say I want to decrease my throttle or switch to another mode of the ship that will also take me out of travel mode, so that this is identical to just me not using that travel mode anymore. So let's say I have, in travel mode also you move slowly the faster you go, so you're not as nimble, so keep that in mind. So what happens when I have this? Let's say I want to catch up at 25, okay, there it is. No, I decreased you. What are you doing? Okay, move to second mode. And the speed drops very, very, very slowly. I'm no longer using travel mode. This is not travel mode. Even my speed is not going, I keep going other way. No. This may be useful to you, but there is inertia after the travel mode. If you want to stop, then you really need to use the backspace as we discussed. Charging up, and let's get close to the platform. Argon defense platform? No, I don't want the Argon defense platform. I want my travel thingy. Where is my travel thingy? I don't remember. I don't know. Let's find it that way. Well, I moved way too far. Jump gate. Let's go there. Let's target it with T. Small thing. And it's 146 kilometers away. 146 kilometers away when you're traveling with 4 kilometers a second actually is pretty fast. So you will actually not have that much to go. There is some traveling, granted, but you know what? It's not that far. So let's actually go to the other side. I don't want to go to the gate, I want to go to the accelerator. See how much of a difference that makes, nimble-wise. Okay, am I gonna crash? No, backspace. Stopped. Much faster than I did by changing modes, right? Now the gates, we already know how that is. We saw them when we went through the corridors on how the gates work. Let's see how the accelerator works, because the accelerator is not exactly the same as that. So moving into it, lengthwise, there is no horizon exactly. Once you pass kind of that point, then whoop, there you are. So it's not that different, but that's how you move there. And you're out of it. So backspace. One last thing. This series of games by Egosoft has always maintained a weird flight model. It wants to make you think like you're flying in atmosphere. What I mean by that? If you're flying and you're moving like that, then changing that angle of attack versus my speed doesn't have any consequence. It's a bit of a lag, but not really much. Basically, it's using all its thrusters and everything it can to change my direction of flight exactly to where I'm pointing at every one time. Switch fast that way, and doesn't take long for my direction of travel to be that way. Again, move like that. Doesn't take that long for it again to change my direction to that. This doesn't work exactly like that in space, in actual space. What would happen is what happens when you press Shift and Control and Shift. Flight Assist disabled. Now if I turn, I don't change anything. My speed has already been set, and this doesn't change because I flipped around. My calculation of the speed changed because that now is taken from a different perspective. The vector of my speed has changed. If I flipped all the way around, then that's my full speed in reverse. Yes? So what I need to do when I am in this mode, I need to re-engage my speed. And that flipped me like that a bit, and I need to change that and give new orders. Travel that way now, and that will go eventually. It will take me there. And this is useful if you want to strafe run, for example. Control Shift, and you're moving again. You are moving towards a target, you are lining it up, and then once you have it aligned, Control Shift, fire at them, and then you are strafe firing them. And that's what is that about. I've never found a real use for that, to tell you the truth. Strafe, this actual Newtonian flight model is rather bizarre, so you may have some advanced combat mechanics for that to be of use to you, but that's also cool. So, last thing. We are saying that if we want to move, we have to keep pressing the left mouse button down, because otherwise that's just the mouse pointer to do stuff and select objects like, where is that thing? There it is. I select that, and that's what this is for. And if you want to move the ship, then you have to click the mouse button down and move with it. Right? Right. Well, there is actually another mode, which is Shift Space, and that now is permanent without me clicking anything. So I can still click on stuff. That doesn't go away, but now I don't have to keep on clicking the mouse, which is a bit of an improvement, if you want, because now you are a little bit better. And this is actually my default way of doing combat. When I am engaged in combat, this is how I actually fly and fight. So That's all about movement and the first mode of the ship for the travel mode. I hope you've enjoyed these. And as always, take care and keep safe.